Hey, it's Adam and Ethan with the viewing room here. We are hosting a live Oscars watch party on Sunday, March 2nd at 5:30 p.m.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. We got lots of stuff planned. We got games, live reactions. Obviously, we've got some food. We'll have some interesting food and stuff,
Movie
and
trivia.
movie trivia. Yeah, and we'll hopefully just kind of get live reactions, talk about the movies, whether we like it or disagree or whatever the winners are, and have a good time. Hopefully, nobody gets slapped.
Yeah. So if you want to watch a fun night of predictions, games, and overall fun, check out Dufferin Avenue Media and the viewing room Instagram at the viewing room _ for updates and more.
And now time for The Viewing Room with Adam and Ethan.
Welcome to the viewing room, where we talk about films, new and old, local and global. Today we're talking about Toy Story, which released November 22nd, 1995. A lot of great movies in 1995. We talked about this in our one episode. What was it? What episode was it? The 7 episode. That's what it was. Came out in 1995. And we were talking about how that wasn't the number one grossing movie.
Yeah.
Toy Story was the second highest grossing movie of the year.
Remember, you had some trivia on that for me, or
Yep.
not trivia, but it was a bit of a guessing game.
Yeah, so budget of 30 million, grossed 373 million, which made it number 2 to Die Hard 3. Die Hard 3 grossed more than Toy Story.
That's sad.
Whew, I know, that's a tough
But to
pill
be
to
fair,
swallow.
I
That's
feel
a
like Toy
tough pill
Story-
to swallow.
This is an important thing about Toy Story, in my opinion, is that
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the movie was what they intended to be their main moneymaker. The merchandising is, I feel like, where they intended to make their money.
Well, a lot of the toys in Toy Story were already in production. Aside from, I think Rex was the only one that wasn't actually in production. But there's also a lot of Hasbro and Mattel toys that are technically based in and around certain characters. So that's an interesting point. Now, this is Pixar's first film. I should throw that out there. I don't actually think they could have predicted it would be as big as a success as it actually was, in my opinion. I'm not a financial expert, but given the fact it was the studio's first ever film and the first ever computer-generated film ever in the history of the world, that probably had something. Now, Vertigo was the first ever movie to use CGI. This one was the first start to finish all CGI.
Yeah.
We'll get into that. But there we go.
Yeah.
Toy Story.
And I mean, you can tell, like, the animation is definitely mid-90s animation,
Uh-huh.
but it doesn't matter. You know, it honestly doesn't matter that much.
I read a lot of reviews, people being like, oh, the animation's so aged and dated. And I don't actually feel like the animation is super dated, at least not on the TV, like on my TV. Like, it looked really good on Disney Plus or whatever. The worst part about it is the character design.
Yeah,
The Andys and
Andy's
stuff.
and
Yeah.
Sid look
Ugh.
like the same, and their eyes, and that's like the toys are fantastically well done, but yeah, the kids are a little bit odd.
And I think if they were going to put their budget into something, what is more important? How Andy looks or how Woody looks?
Well, it's called
And-
Toy Story for
Exactly.
a reason, right? Like,
And so I don't think it really matters that much, and it doesn't take me out of the film. It takes me out of the film a bit, especially when you realize that all the kids at the birthday party are the same character model, just with like a different hat.
Yep.
Pretty weird.
Yeah.
But listen, I think that they did the toy soldiers right. They did Ham right. They did Rex.
Awesome.
Yes, everything is
Buzz
that is
Lightyear,
perfect.
too.
It doesn't look dated. I mean, there's sometimes where you see some of the characters interact in the background, and they're not doing certain things that you'd see maybe now that make the world a bit more full.
But also, I mean, like you said, this is mid-90s CGI. Like, they didn't have the processing power to
Exactly.
do that.
Well, exactly. There's no hair.
No.
I mean, Andy's mom wears a ponytail, but like, yeah, they didn't have the same technology like they did when they made Monsters Inc. with all of individual hairs on Sully, right?
You know, and that's such an interesting point too. Is like a lot of the times the ideas for these things are there, but the technology is what lacks.
100%.
Like there was people that had the basic idea for neural networks, like when computers were still the size of 3 garages.
Sure.
But they just didn't have the processing power to act on those ideas.
But it's the same thing with DNA evidence,
Yeah,
right? When you look
right?
at something like that, a lot of unsolved cases, even back 100 years ago, had DNA evidence
Yeah.
collected and stuff because they're like, oh, one day we'll be able to use this.
Exactly.
Boom! Look at that. 30 years later, all of a sudden they had like a little sperm sample or something that was like figured out, and they're like,
Yeah.
whoa! Would you look at that, right? And so, I think it's always going to be something like that, right? Like I think we were dreaming about going to space even before airplanes were a thing. You know what I mean, right? And sorry, whatever. Airplanes came before rocket ships. You get what I mean, right?
Yeah.
And I think that that's a good point, and I think that's probably one of the reasons why this did win a technical achievement award at the Oscars, kind of a special award, not a best picture or anything like that, but it did get a technical achievement, right?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that goes down to John Lasseter, his direction, and all just the future of Pixar, and what would be a very successful.
I mean, that Pixar intro is iconic. Anytime you hear that, like, boing, boing, you know what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that
so
was a
good.
really bad impression on my part, but whatever.
But yeah, no, you hear it, Pixar. I mean, yeah, Pixar's become iconic, and yeah.
I recall being probably 9 years old and having a nightmare where the Pixar lamp crushed me. That's not a joke. That's really
Well,
not
kind of funny.
It's kind of funny, but it's not a joke. I'm actually being serious. And I used to have this reoccurring nightmare. Maybe I should say this for our Cars episode when we do Cars. One of my favorite childhood movies. I watched that movie so many times, and I can still smell how the DVD smelled. Like, isn't that just a weird thing? Like, I still remember the smell when you'd open up the case and like the weird plasticky smell and shit. And so much to the point where we had to buy another disc because it was so scratched up because of how much I watched it. But I just remember having these vivid dreams at night where Frank, the combine, would be chasing me in my sleep, and I'd have to hide under like cupboards in my house, and he'd like burst through my house trying to find me, and it was like really crazy. These really weird plots too, where like every like once a week or something at like 5 p.m. if you weren't indoors and were outside, Frank would like eat you or something, right? And so if you like heard the sound of a siren at like 4:59, you know you'd have to run inside or hide in some bushes, otherwise Frank was gonna find you. And then you'd see him like going on the streets and stuff, and there's like this big combine, and I don't know what the heck was going on in my brain. Does it sound like I'm trauma dumping? It kind of sounds like I'm trauma dumping on the middle of the show.
No, I just interesting.
Yeah, this is like a real thing. Like I'm not joking. You know the scene in Cars where like Lightning McQueen has that nightmare about Frank catching him?
Yeah.
Like that was like the same exact thing that was happening to me. Like, and it would be like real life. I'm real life. All my family's real life. All that stuff. Actually, I would never see other people in these dreams. It was just me and Frank. So it was like more like a Twilight Zone type shit. But like Frank was animated like cartoons, not like an actual combine. So, so like it was like Frank from Cars, and everything else is real life. Like if you just like took a JPEG of Frank,
you sure
and like
you didn't like get into the drugs at a young age?
Well, my dad liked to have these frozen brownies, right? No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. No. Yeah. But no, it was. I'm actually being like dead serious. Like I couldn't make something like that up. Like genuinely,
Hey,
it scared me.
we all have those weird things.
And it was one of my favorite movies, and still this day is one of my favorite movies. But and I'm embarrassed to say how long those nightmares went on for. Like, and it wasn't like an every night thing. It would be like every 5 months it would happen. So like I was like, and then and then it just stopped one day.
You're gonna have one of those nightmares tonight now,
dude. I kind of want to go back there. You know what I mean? No, I kind of want to go back and like say hi to Frank, see how he's doing. But yeah, it was like I'm like dead ass like telling you like that actually happened.
Yeah.
And anyways, do you have any other traumatic stories you want to share?
No, I'm good.
You didn't have any nightmares about that?
No.
Dang, man.
I didn't watch Cars enough for that. Like I watched it was good, but I didn't watch it enough for that.
And it wasn't like nightmares where I'd wake up in a cold sweat. Actually, I would, but like, it wasn't like one of those nightmares where you got to go tell your parents that you had a nightmare. You know what I mean? Because it was so scary. I would just like wake up and be like, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just like go back to bed. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it would always end with Frank finding me. I'd either wake up before Frank found me, or Frank would find me, and right before he was about to run me over, I'd wake up. Which is just, I have goosebumps. Like literally, I have goosebumps right now just talking about it because like it's just so weird.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that should be a Patreon exclusive. Maybe that should be like, I'll say that again in the Cars episode when we do Cars one day.
All right,
Okay.
let's do it.
Yeah,
Let's do the synopsis.
Let's do. Yeah, you do the synopsis on your phone because I
Why
put
me?
mine's on the charger.
Oh, I was just gonna put this on vibrate while you did that, but okay, I can do this. Toy Story.
Oh my God, dude! I can't believe I shared that with the world.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Woody, played by Tom Hanks, a good-hearted cowboy doll who belongs to a young boy named Andy, played by John Morris, sees his position as Andy's favorite toy jeopardized when his parents buy him a Buzz Lightyear, played by Tim Allen, action figure. Even worse, the arrogant Buzz thinks he's a real spaceman on a mission to return to his home planet. When Andy's family moves to a new house, Woody and Buzz must escape the clutches of maladjusted neighbor Sid Phillips, played by Eric Von Detten, and reunite with their boy.
Nice. So, Toy Story, I guess what, like, probably what some people would say one of like the most classic Disney Pixar films ever, and one of the best. No, no,
You know where I was going.
yeah.
No, as I said to you, I feel like there was a generation of kids, myself included, where everywhere you went, whether it was a summer camp or a before and after care program or whatever it was, there was a lot. They were always playing it.
It was a huge movie.
Yeah.
One of the biggest.
But like honestly, I feel like they were
Yeah.
always just it was always there. And so like I didn't watch it like through a lot, but between all watching,
Mhm.
half-hour sections there and like here and there, I've seen this movie dozens and dozens of times. And I mean, I've watched it through too, but
For sure. And
Yeah.
I would agree that I've seen it a lot. It's not as special to me as it is other people. I think, like I said, a film like Cars is definitely way more special to me.
I wouldn't even say it's special. I'd
Sure.
just say it's nostalgic. Like, just
Sure.
all the scenes I'm like, "Oh, I remember watching this. Oh, I remember this. Oh, I remember that,"
Hmm. Like for Toy Story.
For Toy Story.
Yeah. Um, but I think it's different for everyone, right? And I guess, technically this movie came out before we were born. But like, yeah, there's a lot of movies that I think we grew up with that came out before us.
Yeah.
You know
Well,
what
and
I
I mean, the other important thing with this one is good for kids.
Mhm.
It's great. But I mean, there's so many references that adults can
Yes.
tolerate it too, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you can see it like you said, this Pixar's first movie. You can see right from the beginning that was their thing. Like all the references and whatever.
There's one line where Rex says like he wants like a vegetarian dinosaur or something like that, so he could be a dominant alpha.
Yeah,
or
right?
something like the dominant type dinosaur,
right?
And he was like, "What?"
Well,
Like
and you-
looked at my like spat on my iced tea. I was like, "What?"
And you don't notice that as a kid.
No.
Like, I don't remember any of those
Yeah.
references and all the stuff with Bo. Like,
Yeah.
I don't remember any of that. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, as a kid, you have a rudimentary understanding that, oh, they're in love. But you don't know anything more than that. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
And then as an adult, like, I was laughing a lot because of that.
I'm laughing at a certain point. I'm like, I feel like accosted in a way that
Right?
like 12-year-old me, like 7-year-old me was sitting there listening to this, and I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah,
Like I feel like
right?
I was betrayed in a way.
But it also speaks to the
Yes.
genius of their writing.
Yeah,
That they're able to do that. Like, they're able to walk that line.
and it's not perceived in a creepy way where
No.
they're like, "Oh, this is really creepy and horny and getting over the kids'
Yeah.
heads." No, it's more like it's kind of just. It's charming more like in a way, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't come off as creepy. It comes
Well, and it's
off
also
more
probably
like,
more fun for them to see, okay, how can we hide these little jokes in,
it's more calculated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it doesn't come across as super edgy or
Yeah.
raunchy or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's calculated and it's still respectful in a way, I think. And that's
Yeah.
why I feel like there is a lot of generational humor that you could look at, right?
Yeah.
And yeah. I think this is a lot of people's like favorite Pixar movie. It's not mine,
No.
but I think it's really good.
Yeah, it's good. It's a solid movie. It's fantastic.
Shall we go through a plot?
Yeah, let's do a plot.
Little quick plot. Okay, Woody, he's a toy. We learned in the world that basically toys can come to life
Yeah.
when their owners, being kids, are done playing with them, right? Like they
Yeah.
kind of come to life, and kind of when their kid is back, they play dead essentially, so that the kid can play with them and have adventures, and then they can all
Yeah.
talk and do things. Woody's the leader of this group of toys who belong to Andy, right? And so we learn that Andy is going to be moving away in 1 week's time, and the toys are basically finding movie buddies, getting ready to pack up and go, right? But then all of a sudden, Andy's birthday party happens, right? And so
it happens a week early because they don't want to do it during the move.
exactly. And so all these kids come. Some of the kids get him bed sheets. I think there's a really funny joke there where Ham's like, "Man, who invited that kid?"
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Oh man, it was just really funny. In the synopsis, it said Andy's parents got him the Buzz Lightyear,
Yeah, it's only his mom that I'm aware of.
and also, I don't think that was a gift from his mom. I think Buzz Lightyear. I thought Buzz Lightyear came from one of the other kids at the birthday party.
I don't think it says. I think it's. Oh, there's one more here that they almost forgot about.
Okay.
I think that's what it is, but I could be wrong.
Well, I mean, it really doesn't matter. It's just technicality on the synopsis.
Yeah.
Well, it's not parents, it's mom, and also, did it actually come from his mom? Like
Yeah.
that's kind of up in the air. So, I mean, if the filmmakers wrote it, I guess,
Then yeah,
they probably know better.
I would hope so.
But we find out that it's this Buzz Lightyear action figure toy, or he has like deployable wings. He has a laser. He has a voice box.
Laser.
A laser that has a light. It's funny enough. I had a Woody toy, and my brother had a Buzz Lightyear toy when we were growing up too, which is pretty cool.
Yep.
And
I believe I had a Buzz Lightyear as well.
it's funny because I don't remember ever being jealous that my brother had a Buzz Lightyear and I had a Woody. I was just like really like freaking stoked to hang out with Woody all day. But I like even now I'm kind of like I probably would have been more jealous now than I was when I was like 8.
Yeah, right.
Because I was like, hold on a second, I kind of got scammed there. Why did my parents give me the Woody doll? That's not fair. I had a string that said "Reach for the stars," and he had deployable wings. That's not even fair at all. Like even now, I feel hurt. Like I'm gonna make a call to my mom. Can we pause this? I gotta should I call my mom and ask her?
Do it.
Oh my good lord, let's do it. I don't have my phone on me.
I'm gonna do it on the show.
Hello.
Hi, Mom.
Hi.
You're on the viewing room. Say hi.
No, I'm not.
just say hi. Adam's here.
Hi, Adam.
Hello.
Okay, I wanted to ask you a question.
What?
Okay, so you know the movie Toy Story? Why is the dog barking? Okay, you know the movie Toy Story? Okay, so when we were growing up, right?
Yeah.
I had a Woody toy, right? And I really liked Woody. We even wrote my initials on the bottom of his shoe, and he had the string, and we pulled him, right? And I don't even know what happened to him, right? But you remember that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and Kale had a Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking, like when I was 8, that was really cool that I had a Woody and Kale had a Buzz. But now that I think about it, that wasn't really fair now, was it?
What?
Kale's Buzz Lightyear's so much cooler than Woody. He can like have a laser and like
But Kale's
deploy
so
his
much cooler than you.
but but like he had a laser and deployable wings and a face mask. Why did
Adam hear me?
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
yeah. Why did my Woody like you could take off his hat, and pull his string, but like come on, I wasn't jealous when I was 8, but I'm kind of jealous now. What's up with that?
The only thing you can do to prepare this is to go get a Buzz Lightyear.
I can't afford that in this economy. Oh, okay. Well, thanks, Mom. I just wanted you to know that I'm traumatized now, and
I did not realize this was a childhood travesty.
yeah, I just I realized when I was 8 it was fine, but now when I realized like that Buzz Lightyear's actually cooler than Woody, that was kind of embarrassing.
Did you record your episode?
We're recording right now.
No, you're not.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is going in.
Oh my god. Okay, goodbye.
Exactly as well as I thought it would. I she said he was cooler than me, and that's why he had it. Okay, whatever.
Hey, I'm gonna have to agree with that.
Oh, man, that hurts. Anyways, Buzz Lightyear comes. He takes over as like the head honcho. Woody's like the sheriff
Yes.
of the town, but Buzz Lightyear's kind of like the cool new toy. So we see Andy kind of evolve. He kind of tosses Woody aside, who used to be his favorite toy, and Buzz is like hot shit now. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
He has Buzz Lightyear bed sheets, his Space Ranger paintings and stuff
Mhm.
plastered over Woody paintings. It's pretty intense, and Woody feels a little bit left out, right? So Woody, I never realized how much of a bad guy Woody actually is.
Woody is a bit of a bad guy for the first half.
Yeah, like I just like kind of was like, cool story, man. I love you, Woody. When I was 8, but like rewatching it like start to finish, like as an adult, you're like, whoa, hold on a second, this guy actually really isn't a very good guy.
Yeah.
Attempted murder charges,
Yeah.
possibly even manslaughter, intent, right? We can go into another legal court drama.
We always seem to do this, Your Honor, my client, you see, he was merely trying to regain his spot as top dog, and the fact that the toy was not alive to begin with means that there is no case for manslaughter here, as the toy was never alive to begin with.
Your Honor, he took out his batteries. He took the screwdriver and he put in double A's.
Do you have anything to say for yourself? To infinity and beyond.
Okay, now we sound like we're on crack officially. So,
well, aren't we? Isn't that what the white powder we snorted before this show was?
Oh man. Oh, okay. I need to get my train of thought back. What? Yes.
Talking
Okay.
about Woody's actually kind of a bad guy.
Yeah, Woody's actually kind of a bad guy. He tries to kill Buzz, and it doesn't quite work. But Woody kind of gets exiled for. Well, actually, sorry. They think he killed Buzz. He didn't actually kill Buzz, but Woody gets exiled. He's like, wait, guys, I wasn't actually trying to kill him. Which, maybe you could say he was trying to knock him off the bed. Would that have killed him? Probably not. No.
Their toy.
But, like, interesting to think. Like, was Woody actually trying to kill him? Anyways, they kind of banish Woody for being a murderer. And then he realizes that, like, oh, wait, Buzz is alive. We have to, like, go back to Andy and, like, the rest of the toys and be like, yo, Buzz Lightyear is actually alive, guys. We're fine. Everything's cool. Whatever. And he comes in the room. He grabs Woody because he can't find Buzz. And he heads off to Pizza Planet, right? Which is like a big arcade, Chuck E. Cheese type thing.
Yeah.
Buzz is alive still. He follows pursuit. Kind of have a scuffle, Woody and Buzz. They end up getting to Pizza Planet. They get kidnapped by Sid, who's like the evil kid next door.
Yep.
And now Woody and Buzz are trapped with an actual kid who murders toys and like okay,
I
actually
also forgot about the aliens. Those are some of my favorite characters.
yes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The claw.
The claw. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
The claw.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take those and layer them all together.
The
the
claw.
car.
Yeah. Sid dismembers toys. He like takes heads off of some and puts them on the other.
He
And
experiments.
he does like
It's
some.
not that bad. He's just experimenting with them.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? To be fair,
I mean,
he doesn't know they're alive.
that's
right?
the thing, right? Like, and I mean, like, I remember doing like similar things. Not like with explosives and stuff, but like, my thing as a kid was always taking things apart. Like, I would always take things apart.
I love
right?
the one. He looks at the explosive and he goes, "Keep out of reach of children." All right.
Yeah, right?
And he
Like,
picks it up.
that would literally be me if I got my hands on that, right?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like he's not that bad. Like, they portray him as the evil kid, and sure, like, the explosives and the burning, yeah, sure, maybe he's a little bit psychotic, but, like...
Yeah, it would be normal that he was just doing that to have fun and be like, oh, look at
Yeah.
this cool thing I made. All
Yeah,
right,
right?
cool, I can get behind that. But instead, what he does is, like, sleep tight. He's like Dr. Evil. Like
He's he's doing it for psychotic reasons.
Yeah,
but,
yeah,
like, the
like-
things he's doing, I feel like if they were portrayed in a different way, wouldn't be like that.
And I think there's a logic flaw here, because you can see some of the toys have different arms and stuff like that. Now, Mr. Potato Head and Mrs. Potato Head can like wear each other's parts.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But it's not like when you put Mr. Potato Head's eyes on Mrs. Potato Head, he now controls Mrs. Potato Head.
Yeah.
So for some reason, some of the toys like they change who they're actually animating, which breaks the logic. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
In my opinion, does that make sense to you?
Sort of.
Like, you have the heads of some people on the other people, but they're like actually controlling who they
see
were
what you mean.
originally. And you're like, wait, hold on a second. If you put Woody's head on Buzz's body, then technically wouldn't Woody be just Buzz
Mhm.
and with a Woody head? But there's some of the toys that are like
Yeah.
not that, which is like
Yeah, I know what you
interesting.
mean.
Now maybe that just makes Sid look more deranged, or maybe that's
Yeah,
like a
I
flaw.
was just gonna say, it's almost like that's just they're brushing it off as he's evil, and you managed to figure out a mad scientist way of doing it. I don't know. Again, it's an animated Pixar movie.
Yes,
We can't read with toys that come alive. We can't read too much into it.
like because we established that the dolls can talk in Toy Story 3, but none of the dolls can talk in this movie.
Yeah.
But they can all move, but they can't talk. Interesting. Interesting. I'm not going to go through the logic of a movie where toys come to life in the middle of the night to hold meetings about moving buddies. I'm not.
Okay. Let's not do it.
Sure.
Okay.
Prove it.
What?
Prove that you don't care.
I don't care.
That always works. I completely lost my train of thought like 10 minutes ago.
All right. Fun fact. I read or I saw an interview the other day where Tom Hanks was talking about Woody and how his brother actually does all the voicing stuff for Woody now, for all like the toys and the commercials and anything that has him in it, because there's so much of it and he's just too busy. So he actually pays his brother to go and do them for him.
That's kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of awesome.
I'm like, you know what? That's clever.
yeah, that
works.
is awesome. What's while you were talking about the role of Woody, we can talk about Buzz. Billy Crystal was actually originally offered to play Buzz Lightyear, but he refused, and obviously Tim Allen got it. And he said at that point in his career that was the biggest mistake in his
Yeah.
life. But John Lasseter called him up when they were shooting Monsters Inc. Asked to speak with him. The first thing, the first thing Billy Crystal said when he got the call from John was yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said
I'm
yes.
not making that mistake again.
He didn't even hear what it was. He said yes, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And that was the role of Mike Wazowski in
Oh,
Monsters
yeah.
Inc. And now they've done 2 or 3 of those, or at least 2
Yep.
movies and a bunch of shows and shorts and
Yep.
stuff. And he never made that mistake again, which I think maybe the Toy Story franchise is a bit more of a bigger commercial success. But I don't think Monsters Inc. did that bad either. You know what I mean?
No.
I don't think any of these movies are really failing at the box office
No.
and anything, right? And I think, oh man, didn't Inside Out 2 become like another big success? Wasn't that one of the highest grossing animated
isn't
films
that
last year?
on the Oscars list for this year?
It must be, yeah.
I think it's on there for at least one. I only went through and put it through every single nomination in a spreadsheet for our awesome Oscars live watch party coming on March 2nd.
Yes, which would be this Saturday.
It'll be
Maybe
this
we
Sunday.
This Sunday.
Sunday.
Anyways, so Sid's kidnapped the toys. We kind of realize that, okay, Sid's probably going to be killing these guys if they don't get out soon.
Mm-hmm.
Now, overlooking Andy's house, which is next door of Sid, Woody can see the other toys, but Buzz is super depressed because I failed to kind of talk about this earlier. Buzz believes he's a real space ranger,
Yes.
but eventually he comes to learn that he is actually just a toy. And based on a TV commercial, he realizes that, like, wait, I'm not an actual space ranger. I'm like a mass-produced, like,
Yeah.
toy.
See, one of my favorite scenes is from, is it 2 or is it 3? Whichever one where they actually go to Al's toy barn Yeah, two. And he walks down the aisle of all the
Yeah.
buzzes, and then he gets kidnapped and thrown in the box, and they have to try and figure out which buzz is which.
Yes.
I love that scene. Like honestly, Toy Story 2, I love it more than Toy Story 1.
Yeah.
And like, but I don't know, that scene just it reminded me of that for some reason.
Yeah. I always like Toy Story 2 too.
Toy Story 2
Yeah.
coming to stores near you for a limited time only.
You know, Woody is pretty adamant to Buzz throughout the story that you're a toy, but
Yes.
Buzz doesn't believe him. He doesn't really know what he's talking about. He's like, "No, I'm intergalactic space ranger," and Woody's like, "You are a toy," which
Yeah.
whatever. It's funny, great line, and Buzz finally realizes this, and he's kind of like, he's almost ready to die. He's like, he's given up completely.
He's
and,
just
like,
totally melodramatic, depressed.
he's kind of like his mission is like will never
Yeah.
be complete.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because I guess all these buzzes come pre-programmed with different missions almost, and to free the planet from Zurg or whatever. So,
Which is kind of
very
is it
interesting.
Zurg?
Zurg? Yeah, his
Which
dad.
I find so funny because the Zurg is the enemy in the StarCraft game series.
Uh-huh. Yeah, but his dad is Zurg. I think it's Zurg, right?
I think so.
I think
can't
it's
remember.
Zurg.
It's something like that.
Whatever. I think that's explored more in Toy Story 2 anyways. So unfortunately for Woody, Buzz can't prove to the other toys in Andy's room that he's actually alive. So Woody has to use one of Buzz's arms that have been torn off and like try and prove to all the other toys that Buzz is actually alive, and then they see
You know
that
what I don't find funny, or what I find funny is why doesn't he just go, "Hold on, guys, I'll grab him," and like go get Buzz up there? Why does he need to hurry
probably
that
happy.
much? Right? Well, yeah, but if he can if he says hold on and they wait for him to go get his arm, then he can just go down there and get his friggin' I don't know.
I don't know. Whatever.
Put his arm back in his socket and then I don't know.
Yeah, but anyways, Buzz, super espresso depresso, decides finally that okay, he can be a space ranger, so he'll help Woody escape and get back to Andy's room before moving day.
Yep.
But Sid has other plans. He takes the toys, he kidnaps them, and he's gonna launch a rocket. But all the toys decide to come to life to Sid and scare the crap out of Sid.
Yep.
Be like, hey, listen, like we're gonna like hunt you down and haunt you for the rest of your days if you don't start playing nice with us. Traumatizes Sid. He runs away. They free Buzz, but then Andy starts to move, and so now they have to chase down the moving truck. Basically, Woody gets to a moving truck. They have to basically try and help him, and all the toys start to reject Woody because he's a murderer. But then they realize, oh wait, Woody's actually trying to help us, and whatever. Eventually, Woody and Buzz
They use
Get
the
back-
rocket to make it.
they use an explosive rocket that was going to kill Buzz
Yeah.
to instead launch them towards
Yes.
the that sounds like a pilot to launch them towards the moving truck.
Yeah, they're
And-
gonna launch them towards the ladies and gentlemen from the flight deck. This is your captain.
We got winds of
speaking.
32.
We'll be ready to push back here shortly. Just finishing up a bit of paperwork, and then we'll be on our way.
Yeah, and that's pretty much how I do my podcast. and
That's the end of the movie, right?
That is the end of the movie,
This is
right?
basically it. They're all reunited. They all live happily ever after. Yay! Everybody's happy.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. And one thing I find interesting. So at the start, he has, like you mentioned, the Woody
Mhm.
like bed sheets or whatever. It's all Woody, and then when he gets Buzz, it's all Buzz. And then at the end, they show like there's like only one or two shots that show it. It's the Buzz bedspread and a Woody pillow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like
Oh,
he's now like back to the two of them, which I find cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I do have some facts.
Yeah, let's hear 'em.
The carpet in Sid's room is the same carpet in the Overlook Hotel from The Shining. Kind of give it like a horror aspect.
I believe it. Also, can we talk about his sleeping posture?
Sid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Oh, that's funny. Do it.
I'm not.
Do it.
I can't do it. I'm not that flexible.
Do it.
I'm not that flexible.
Do it in your chair. Just wanted to see you do it. Dang it. This is a first Pixar movie, but it's also the shortest Pixar movie.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's not a long one. It's like what, an hour and a bit.
No,
Yeah. Let me look it up. I'll look it up.
I wanted to say it was like 80 minutes,
Yeah, it's not. It's
78 minutes, maybe. No,
1 hour and 21 minutes. You're right, 81 minutes.
81 minutes. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So it
It's
is
a
the
good length
shortest
too,
one.
you know.
Yeah.
Like I
For
don't.
sure.
You don't need 3-hour movies all the time.
Pizza Planet. There's a pizza thing there. Pizza Planet truck appears in
Yeah.
every single Pixar movie.
Yeah, it's so cool to watch a breakdown of all the little cameos in the Pixar
Yeah.
universe. I guess you'd say, like, they throw different things from it, different movies in all over.
For sure. And little details like that are what make movies like these fun to watch, right? Like
Yeah.
it shows a little bit of extra care and attention, right? And it's stuff that you probably never even see unless you go into New Rock Stars or something
Yeah.
and have someone else explain it to you for half an hour. But you know what I mean?
Yep.
That's special too, right?
Yep.
We talked about funny. People, in my opinion, are the weakest part. The character of Andy's the weakest part. But is that a bad thing?
I feel like they don't need to develop him anymore. I feel like if they had spent more time, we'd add more length to the movie. Let's say now it's a 90-minute movie, and they've spent time developing Andy's character. We've already established that the CGI on the people isn't great. I don't think we need it. Like, honestly, it's a story about his toys.
Yeah.
It's sort of like the parents in Charlie Brown, right? You never hear what they say. They're not important because it's about the kids. They're there. We're aware they're there. They have some impact on the story, but it's not important enough to build them. And I feel like it's the same thing. This is about the toys. He's not important in this.
And I agree. I don't think fleshing out extremely intricate stories between Woody and his goals in life and stuff was
Yeah.
super important because I think at the end of the day it is the toys story.
Yeah. Oh, and especially since they play dead when he's around. Yeah. Huh. They play dead when he's around, right? So there's
Yeah.
not like they can have any interactions really, like
Mhm.
direct interactions. And honestly, it's a kids movie too, so you don't need to complicate it.
Mm-hmm. And I think it works. And I think with the character models being so crappy, it's kind of like maybe they wanted to put more of the budget towards the toy models
Yeah.
anyways, which is 110% the smarter
Yeah,
option, right?
right.
So
I don't know.
makes
And,
sense.
like the toys, like, okay, well, here's what's your favorite toy in this one?
Favorite toy?
Yeah.
Oh, I used to really love the penguin. Wheezy? Oh, is that the second
That's in
movie?
the second one.
Oh,
I like
uh,
Wheezy too, but that's the second one. So
okay. My actual favorite toy is probably the RC car.
RC.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember when I was younger, I liked Rex. Rex was my favorite.
Oh yeah, Rex is a classic.
Rex
man.
is awesome. But after watching it, I'm like, you know what? The Army Men. Honestly, the Army Men are my favorite.
Yeah, they're pretty good too.
And,
We
like,
had a
the way-
bucket of soldiers.
Yeah, and like the way they're animated, the walking, and like, you know, the way they act. I don't know. The Army Men are, and they're such a small role, but the Army Men are really good. And then Ham has a lot of funny one-liners too.
Yeah, Ham is good. For the army men to walk, the crew to figure out how they would do it, like nailed or screwed boards into their shoes
Mm-hmm.
to walk around with boards in
Yeah.
it to see how the army men would walk to
Yeah.
get the walking down.
Yeah, no,
Properly.
and it's so good.
Yeah,
Like it looks
it is really
exactly like if a kid was just you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think like I said it was. Some people said a lot of it was like super dated. And yeah, some of the character models dated and stuff like that, but like I
That's-
don't really feel it's as dated as some people
yeah,
make it out
but
to
I mean,
be.
the thing is, any movie is going to be dated eventually.
Yeah.
I mean, the most advanced CGI from 2025 is going to be dated in 20 years.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so I don't think that's a fair criticism exactly.
I don't think
because-
CGI. I get it. CGI can be like bad CGI can be a turnoff,
Yeah.
but I think even in a lot of modern day movies, it's like I don't think that should be our primary focus as
No.
like a reviewer.
No,
Is
and I mean,
is
like, it's
like CG.
it, here's the thing, like, I mean, they won an award for how good it was at the time.
Yeah.
So I don't think that should matter. Like I said, like when we look at, some of the early special effects from like the 50s, like where they were using claymation that was, like superimposed into the scenes.
Yeah.
Like we look at it now and like, what the hell is this? But then you think about it in the lens of the 50s when they're making this, and it's like,
It's awesome, man.
holy shit.
Yeah.
Like Sinbad and some of those movies where they have like claymation skeletons,
100%.
and it's like, holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, and maybe it's not the most super intricate story, right? Woody goes through a character arc where
Kind of.
he
His
tries to kill Buzz, and then he realizes, I guess, Buzz isn't as bad as he thought, and
Yeah.
Andy still
Well,
cares, and
yeah.
he realizes Andy still cares about him, so now he's not gonna kill
Yeah.
Buzz. Very interesting, right? Like,
Yeah, that one's a bit weak. But at the same time, it's a kid's story again,
yeah,
Like, it doesn't have to be complicated. And I think
Yeah.
the lesson there is, for the kids more is like, I mean, adults to a certain extent, but for the kids, that lesson there is, you don't need to, have favorites exactly. I mean, it's okay to have favorites, but like, still
acceptance,
acceptance,
yes.
everybody's fine. Just because they're maybe not your you can have favorite, friends or whatever, but you don't have to be, forget about everybody else.
I think the larger message is probably about honestly being forgotten. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And replaced, right? And I think
Yeah.
that's like I I don't know. I don't think I think it's maybe more of a thing when you're like super like way older, which is something that like maybe Up would do a better job touching
Yeah.
on. But I do think like even at work or whatever, a lot of people you feel that way to a certain extent, right? And
Yeah.
maybe their best friends change or something in their life changes. And so I think that's like a bigger piece of the puzzle. But yeah, like I said, I don't think it's as intricate or in depth as maybe other movies, right?
And it
Like,
doesn't need to be. Yeah, it's a kids movie.
I don't know. And I don't think yeah, I don't think it's as dated as people make it out to be. I mean, yeah, the character models are pretty like
Yeah.
oof, but
And I mean,
they
like,
got they got the stuff that mattered.
yeah, and I
right.
mean, they're probably thinking about like, photorealistic and like shadows and stuff, but it's distracting, right? It almost
Toy
feels
Story
like,
with ray tracing.
yeah, right? Like you
Yeah.
don't need it,
Yeah.
like it's good the way it is. And yeah.
And maybe that helps it become more believable.
Well, it's almost more like a cartoon in a way,
Yeah, but like that's what I mean, right? Like if it was like these guys were all pasted on top of it, you know what I mean? Then maybe it would
Yeah.
feel less whatever. But if the kids themselves feel animated and not hyper realistic, then maybe it gives viewers a sense of like okay, like better suspension of disbelief.
Yeah.
It's kind of like in the Polar Express. Actually, the Polar Express is pretty gnarly with the characters' eyes. The eyes in Polar Express are
Yeah.
brutal, man. Oh. But I don't know. I got what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of it
Yeah,
for
rate
me,
it.
really.
Yeah, I don't have much more.
Should we scratch the thing?
Yeah, we rate it and then we'll scratch.
What do you rate it?
8.
8?
Give it an 8.
Yeah, I agree. I'll hit you up with an 8. Toy Story is like an 8 out of 10 movie.
Yep.
It's a solid movie. People enjoy it. Kids, adults, whatever.
Yep.
You want to use my keys?
Sure. I'll take your keys any day. All right. So yeah, the poster you got for me for Christmas, or for us, or however you want to think about it.
Definitely for us. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. What is it? What
So
is it?
Woody and Buzz. Oh, that's your keys, not mine. Woody and Buzz, their hands. Buzz got a fist bump and Woody's got a finger gun.
Cool.
Yeah, there we go. That's our first adjacent one. Or no, it's not. Those two are beside each other.
And down there.
Oh yeah, down there too. Apparently I'm blind. Cool.
Cool.
that's Toy Story crossed off. We got at least another like 91
90
to go.
moves, 90 some movies to go.
Yeah. Anyways, that was the viewing room. Thank you for watching. That was our review of Toy Story 1995. We do have a Patreon at Dufferin Ave Media and an Instagram at the viewing room _. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.